Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back. And today we're looking at Perceval's Royal Guards. Obviously, the new Jav unit that obviously has had an interesting start in terms of when we saw it on the PTR. They were just kind of pretty much useless and don't really feel like they had any sort of role that the other Javs couldn't do or that the other shield units couldn't do. But they have had a buff since then, so we're going to have a look in this video at obviously all their doctrines, vet line, because now we can see the vet line. We couldn't see anything in the vet line before, so we'll have a deep dive into that. And then we'll go and look at some games and kind of chat about how they are, if they're worth unlocking, what their traits are, and stuff like that. So let's get into the vet line and doctrines. Okay. So here are mine, not fully leveled, level 20, but the last four points in the vet line are literally just like 3% piercing defense. They're nothing major, so 20 I feel like is good enough for these. We got fully down one line and 1 point in the next line, so that's okay. I think that's a relatively okay to do testing with them. I just didn't want to commit too much to these guys just because obviously we didn't know if they were that great or whatever, but I'm happy with level 20. I don't think 4 levels is going to make it much of a difference for these guys. So let's start off with doctrines. Doctrines wise, we have the Perceval Shield Doctrine, doubles the block effectiveness of charge and throw. That's good. And then a javelin block break by 200 and then piercing damage by 60. We've got a unit damage doctrine, extra 70 damage, and then increases all types damage by 40 points. Javelin doctrine 5, this increases ammo by 30, and javelin damage by 250. Now this is the interesting thing about these guys that has been changed since the PTR, I believe. They can use tower shield doctrines as well as Jav doctrines. That's pretty interesting. So I've put on a defense 1 doctrine here, 90 to all defenses and 3% less damage. But if we look here, you can put on sort of a block, increased block. We've got Jav doctrines here too. It's kind of weird. Awareness. What I'd like to get is one of those. I can't remember what the other one is. It's similar to this, but it's got the heal on the end of it. So it'd be quite nice to have that little heal button, but you could also have immunity. So yeah, very strange. But I mean, it's cool. I wouldn't use these as a tower shield by any means, but I thought might as well just shove a little bit of extra defense on them. But yeah, so that's what we've got on for the doctrines. Let's have a look at the vet line. So on the vet line, I have decided to go top line. I think the bottom line feels like it's much more to do with, well, I would say it's much more to do with being like a shield unit, but then it's got things like extra ammunition, and then you recover 1 ammo every time you get 3 blocks. So yeah, it didn't really speak to me that much. I think it does seem more tanky, so it wasn't really for me. Where at the top here, this sounded good, but actually it's not that great. Increases damage of charge and throw. Well, basically it deals more damage when enemies are charging at you when you're charging throwing. That kind of is counterintuitive because you've got to aim at 1 point. But if you get lucky, I guess it's going to do a lot of damage. Extra health. We've got increased melee damage by 10%. Makes no difference. Their melee damage is terrible. Each increases charge and throws damage by 15% with the 3 points in. So that spoke to me. I was like, yep, if you're going to do anything, charge and throw. And I would, yeah, stick to that. Increased piercing damage, 15. Increases throw javelin skill by 10. And then just some more piercing damage. Health-wise, we're looking almost 13,000. That's not bad, actually. For a Jav unit, that's kind of standard, actually. If I go to my Imperial Javs, they probably got about the same. Unit count is 24, but I did hear rumblings that they're going up to 30. Maybe that would make a difference. There's nothing major. I just saw I think it might just be for Frontier, but you never know. Ammunition's relatively okay. I do run out pretty quickly. Piercing pen is 1500, and piercing damage is 1200. So not bad. And defenses are actually pretty high. They're actually pretty high. Not huge. I wouldn't say tower shield level, but it's you notice it. They don't get wiped as quickly as if you're using Jav Sergeants or Imperial Javs, although the trade-off is Imperial Javs, obviously, you can insta-fire, where these guys, you got a bit of a charge time. There's a few things I'll say about that I would like them, if they're going to go down this charge route with your jab and throw, there's a few things I would like them to add to help you gauge when the best time to charge is, to fire, anyway. So, let's get into a few little clips. We'll have a little chat. The clips are okay. It's kind of difficult to get clips for these guys, but there are some surprising moments and stuff. It's just a bit of a more slower type of gameplay, and that brings me to the point that I potentially it's just like guarding longbows at the end of the day, without the constant fire, but with the tankiness. So we'll get into discussing that. Let's get into the clips. Okay, so we're into the first game with them, and we're going for a lovely little charge and throw. Now with this, you've got, the longer you leave it, the more damage it does, and it can do a lot of damage, but it's kind of a long cooldown, but there is an advantage of it, that it basically doesn't have a range. When you see me put the marker out there, if that goes red, it doesn't matter, they'll hit it. Their arc and their angle is very similar to like Regenerii, the tier 5 Javs, but it's just kind of better because there's a lot more of them. This is kind of how I wanted the Regenerii to be. But yeah, so you can ignore where it says, where the marker goes red and it says you can't hit there, because you can. I haven't seen a unit throw this far for a long time. Well, since Regenerii, and then they got nerfed, and these guys throw way further. You can do a whole cross the map kill if you want. Yeah, so we're charging up. Damage isn't good. We've got a cav charge coming in, and we go for a throw. That actually takes care of the cav charge quite nicely, but my inherent issue is that I don't feel like I'm giving much value to the team. Yes, I've got those long throws that can go and hit archers at the back and stuff, but they fly at a really straight trajectory, so anything in front will just take the hits for them, and that means shield walls and stuff. And the block break is high on these guys, but it's not high enough to break actual shield walls by any meaningful amount with how long you have to wait. But in a second, I'll show you what I mean about the marker doesn't matter. All the enemy are heading down towards D there. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of pull out a little bit, line up, and go for a really long throw down the corridor, way beyond the marker's range. The fly time of them is huge. Like, it's annoying, and then we still get the hit, in. So from that point of view, they're good, and they're fun. I will say, I've been having a lot of fun with the charge and throw. It feels like a much more what I thought it was what they should have been anyway. The kind of Kamehameha, like you're loading it up, you fully charge it, and it does huge damage. That's what I wanted. But what I would have liked is a sort of YOLO cav bar that I could fill up and actually know when I've hit the maximum strength of my charge. Because otherwise, like, I've had a few moments where I want to go for a maximum and see if that does any more, and they just stop throwing because you've run out of time. So an indicator bar would be really nice. But here we go, we're going for a long throw. I think I overthrow it, but it will go the whole way down there. It's actually incredible how far this will go. I don't know if that will get nerfed because they did it to the Reg, the tier 5 Javs, but we'll see. I don't know. So like that supply point right there, I see some cav on there. I could have aimed a bit down, but we aim at it. That's way beyond the limits of the Javs, and we charge up and we fire, and we hit. We just overshoot slightly, but yeah, it's pretty cool. You can hit things that you wouldn't normally be able to hit. But then, obviously, they're coming in with a shield wall now. we're kind of getting a bit rumbled here. I'm going to go for a charge throw. I'm going to try and act like a bit of a shield wall, for these guys have changed to a long formation or shield wall formation. And we're going to throw straight into that wall there. And block break just doesn't quite do enough, I'd say, to justify these guys. I would also quite like them to have a pin throw, like the Jav Sergeants and Imperial Javs have, where you can just aim at one target. In regards to the one ability, it's basically a waste of ammunition. I wouldn't bother doing it unless you need to panic or there's a cav charge coming or something where you just can't charge them up. But it looks like we're losing them here. I'm going to try and go for one more charge throw. They are pretty tanky. They have lasted a while with a lot on them, but yeah, 43 kills. It wasn't great. So moving on here. Now this is what I was talking about being a sniper. We're completely, the marker's in the red. You shouldn't be able to make this shot. Yes, we got elevation, but you shouldn't be able to make it. And we charge up and we throw. And we land a hero. So, yeah, they have, that's what I mean about being a sniper. If you do it properly, it's really good. It is really good. And you're going to keep a lot of heads down. It's going to be very irritating. But I just don't know if the trade-off is worth it, because you'll end the game with about, I don't know, 30 kills with these guys, and you wouldn't have used any of your other units. It's similar to like just fox guarding your longbows for a long time. Kind of felt like that. I felt a bit scummy. The only advantage I could give people is I can put a shield wall up in front of their range, but I could do that with Imperials, but I just have to be close to the combat. That probably is better for my team. So it's a difficult one, because you're a tower shield that should be in combat, yet you've got a jav throw that is like a longbow. So you're kind of weighing up two sides of the coin. But it's fun, and as a fun unit to play, I would say yes, you'll love it. But you won't win many games, because you're just not really helping your team that much. So we're gonna go for these archers at the back there. I'm gonna load up and fire at them. Hopefully we'll get them. Oh, we hit something. I'm never really sure what I hit. Then Temple and another guy that was on the other team decided to jump. I think he missed his horse button here, but this is when I would use the one ability. It's for stuff like that, when you don't have time to charge up. But apart from that, I wouldn't bother. Moving on, this is a separate game. We managed to push up this tower here. They're coming in. We're just going to go for a few charge shots and see how they get on. We've got a shield wall there. I was interested in the block break, and we land probably 3 jabs. So, yeah, not great. But we're going to load up another one. And hero damage-wise, when you do a charge throw, it's huge. It is huge. Does a lot of damage. So I'm going to right in their back. Pick up a kill. Didn't even see what damage it did to him. But just Control-Alt-Delete. Going for a normal throw there. Kind of okay. But we're on 9 kills. I feel like if I was up front or had Imperial javelins right now, I would, we would have cleared that so much faster. There wouldn't have been any wait time, and it would have, had a much bigger impact. But so I come here and I'm like just last of the jabs, use the one button, and they somehow clip it through the wall and hit those jabs down there. So that's exciting. But I'm on like, I would just take Imperial jabs. Is my main issue with these guys. They're tanky enough. They have their fully mastered with their shield throw. If they get into melee combat, I click that and you can just wipe everything. You've got your multiple different styles of throwing that helps. You can pinpoint someone. It's just with the charge throw here, we charge up, we hit a few things. We start getting hit by cav. This is probably where their advantage comes in, that they are tanky. So I go for a round formation here and start sort of go for a 1 and start trying to kill all this cav off, but it doesn't really get any. Kills one of my units, so that's fine. We're going to go for another charge and throw. That unfortunately the walking pikes there have just walked past where my aim point is. That is sort of one of the other issues you'll have, but I can't complain. I actually think what they've done to them is a lot better than they, obviously so much better than they were in the PTR. I love the fact their charge throw is like a straight trajectory, and it's just super far. It's like having a sniper rifle. Really, really nice. But impact-wise, I don't think they're going to make too much of an impact. You know, it's nice you can be a shield wall for other range and still maintain the range to hit those targets, so you're not just don't feel useless. But right here, I change it to shield wall, and we're just testing out how we're going to get on there. And I do a one throw that then disperses them. That's really irritating, and they get wiped. So that spells the end for them. But a fun unit. Let's get to the conclusion. So, in conclusion, what do we think? I don't think they're going to break the game, put it that way. Although their long throw is going to get irritating. You're going to be sitting there minding your own business and someone's going to snipe your unit from quite a way off. Be it that they might not kill that many of them, it could be interesting. They're a tanky Jav at the end of the day, but they just fall short of the other Javs. But I think with the way they've done the charge throw and how it's got such long range, does put them in their own sort of Jav category, more with the Regenerii than the Imperials, Javs, and the Jav Sergeants. But a fun unit. I had a good time. We did lose a lot of the games because I was so focused on, you know, trying to get a good Jav throw. And most of the time I'd throw and people just walk out of the ring. So that's always an issue. But fun. I will say fun. Probably could use some tweaking. I want to see that bar come in that lets me know when I'm fully charged. That would be really nice, or something like that. But yeah, I wouldn't say pick them up if you in a hurry. But you know, if you can unlock them slowly, then yeah, go for it. You'll have a bit of fun. And that is it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this sort of content, I would really appreciate the sub. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.